Cyber crooks could use these new functionalities to get information from customers. So if you work from the beginning, you can implement some measures, some mitigations.
Hello and welcome. We're here in Barcelona doing a masterclass with CaixaBank on taking digital banking to the next level. In this next chapter, we're looking at the question of mobile security with Caixa's Chief Information Security Officer, Carlos Solé. Carlos, thank you very much for joining us. Look, the problem with mobile phones is that they're always being lost and stolen. So, I mean, how can you make them secure from a banking point of view?
This is a problem, of course, that they are lost or stolen, but there are two measures. One of them is that there's a mechanism to block the phones. This is, in most cases, it's enough if customers do so, for instance. But again, when they are using our application, they also need to do some kind of authentication, some kind of access to this application, as well as just from the phone. So we are protecting this access.
Customers have to do something, and the customers don't always do something. So how do you educate them as to behave in the right way and take care with their phones?
We use awareness programs throughout the offices, branch offices, and one of the main premises here is to be aware of any strange behavior or something that could entice the customer, for instance, to install an application to the mobile phone that then would derive to a compromise of that. So as far as we have seen, the problem is not the lost or stolen phones. Here is very controlled, but how those phones could be compromised using social engineering.
And all the research is that actually it's millennials or young people that are the least protective of their phones and are more careless with them, and that's the actual target market for the mobile, isn't it? So is your education aimed particularly at young people?
Not particular to young people. Young people perhaps are careless about some information that they share with others and with their friends, their companies, but are very aware of protecting their phones, for instance, to their parents if they are at some age, or other partners. No,
so you have to convince them it's not their parents they need to worry about. It's actually the criminal fraternity.
That's true. This criminal potentiality. So and in the mobile phone environment, as I've said, almost every kind of attack begins with enticing the user to do something, some action. Usually to install an application that seems innocuous, but then
or give out their password in some way.
Give up, yes. This is another way to take information, not only from the mobile phone. That's one way to get access, but also from applications that you can use on the web as well as the mobile phone. For instance, Telegram or WhatsApp, you can use the web version of it, as well as installing applications. If you have an Android, for instance.
So if it's breached in one place, it can then be breached in another place.
Yes, this is one vector of attack. So it's more easy to infect or to compromise a PC. For the architecture of the smartphones is more complicated without the action of the user. So infecting a PC, getting information from that, and some link between the PC and the smartphone, which are in the different systems. You have this access, no? The cloud systems, for instance, for Drive or just installing. You can install from your PC. You can install applications to your smartphone. So these kinds of mix between the two worlds is what can be used to do something really harmful to the
Now one of the problems is that the criminal is always getting one step ahead of everybody. So if you're in security, how is it you keep up with the latest ideas that they've got in terms of attacking either phones or the computer?
Yes, something that we do in the department here in CaixaBank is to have a cybercriminal mindset, which means that we analyze and we work very closely collaborating with business and development teams when a new functionality for an app for an application is just conceived. It's not just developed, but just conceived. For instance, to pay peer-to-peer, to use social networks to access to your financial data. So when this initiative starts, we work together with those teams, and I have people in my team that thinks ahead and thinks as a criminal, no?
Right.
How those cyber crooks could use these new functionalities to get information from customers. So if you work from the beginning, you can implement some measures, some mitigations, and when the final product, the final application.
So this sounds a bit like a hackathon, where you have everybody together trying to hack phones.
But doing so internally.
Yeah, in a controlled environment.
In a controlled environment, and but not only when the application is yet developed and ready for production, but at the initial phases of that. Just it's a conception. It's something that has been thought by the business. There you can think about risk scenarios, and when developing and implementing that, you could understand very well and protect those applications.
So at the end of the day, when we've done all this, can we say that the mobile is less or more secure than other channels? And what's your feeling about that?
It's much more secure, but let me explain that. So the mobile environment, especially the architecture that works in the smartphones, permits the different applications that you have there, the app ecosystem, to protect themselves. If you understand very well the architecture of a smartphone, you can really put in place many mechanisms to protect this application from the others. So not giving permissions to them, allowing the same application to self-protect if the mobile is compromised, etc. You need to implement them, of course, and know how to do that in a proper way. But you could protect much more easily than in a PC.
Right.
In fact, the PC, the traditional PC world is evolving to this kind of architecture. So the new smart PCs, the new systems.
So the PC is catching up with the mobile phone.
Yes, but the problem is in the PC world you have the legacy architecture and the attack that was done.
WannaCry.
Yes, WannaCry. The WannaCry, nowadays it's not. It could not happen to a massive number of phones. The phones you need to attack one by one, which is very different. Okay. And as I've said, you need to entice the user. It's more difficult to attack them.
Carlos, thank you very much for making us feel a bit more secure.
Thank you.